Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Mondays with Mundy. That's me, Jim Mundy, the historian at the Union League Legacy Foundation. It's been a few weeks since we've seen each other, so thanks for tuning in today. Speaking of today, it is June 14th, 2021, otherwise known as Flag Day. So it seemed an appropriate occasion to talk about an American flag in the League's collection, and that's what you see behind me here. So we're located on the second floor landing of the League's Broad Street building. That is the brick and brownstone building that fronts on Broad Street. And that's where the flag is hung on display on a wall. So, what about the flag itself? All right, well, the story goes back to April the 15th of 1865 because that is the day that Abraham Lincoln died. And on April the 16th, there was a great demand for flags throughout the entire country because it was the one way that everybody could express their grief over the martyred president. But in Philadelphia, there was an Irish immigrant named Maria Fassett Harvey. And rather than buying a flag, she decided to make her own. So who was Maria Fassett Harvey? She was an Irish immigrant, a famine immigrant. She was born in Ireland in May of 1838. We don't know what county, but she immigrated in 1850, we believe, with her family, with her parents and two of her siblings who arrived in Philadelphia. As a teenager, Maria became a seamstress, and that makes sense because Philadelphia, after all, was the world's largest textile manufacturing city, and so why not? And something else about that, though, a lot of that work was done in homes, known as piecework. And so Maria was used to sewing things in her own house. Now at this point, her house is at 713 South 11th Street between Bainbridge and Fitzwater Streets on the east side. Now the house is no longer there. It's been replaced many, many years ago. But that was where the Harvey family lived. Maria married James Harvey, who was a baker here in Philadelphia. They had 10 children, 7 of whom survived to adulthood. So that was the Harvey residence when Abraham Lincoln died in 1865. So Lincoln's body arrived on the funeral train on Saturday, April the 22nd, with this great parade throughout Center City, Philadelphia. The train station was at Broad and Washington, so the parade went north on Broad, went left on Walnut Street, took a right on 23rd, then took another right on Vine Street, all the way down to Front, made another right on Front, and then a right on Walnut Street, and ended behind, or on the south side of Independence Hall. So the parade was seen by hundreds of thousands of Philadelphians at that point in time. And the city, as you can imagine, I mean, every square inch was covered with an American flag. So what did Maria do with the flag after Lincoln's funeral left Philadelphia? She kept hanging it out of her window every time an American president died. And if you can see the flag, especially in the bottom, you can see it has stains on it, it has holes, it has patches, and you can see them down at the bottom, and one particularly bright one right here, all right? And all of this is hand-stitched, with one exception, and we'll get to that in just a minute, okay? The flag itself is roughly 4 feet wide by 6 feet high, and it was meant to be hung vertically out of a second floor window, hence the buttonholes along the hoist, okay? All right. So as you're looking at the flag, you're probably doing what everybody else does, and that's count the stars. At least I hope you did. What did you notice? There were only 28 stars. When Lincoln died on April the 15th, there were 35 states in the country. West Virginia had been admitted in July of 1863 as the 35th state itself. Now, Nevada had already been admitted in October of 1864 as the 36th state, but the flag had not yet been added, or the star had not yet been added to the flag. That would happen on July the 4th of 1865. So a 35-star flag would have been the flag that everybody was hanging out their windows. So how many stars did you count? I have 28, right? Okay, that doesn't make any sense at all. But as you can see, there's lots more room for more flags. So if you read the conservation report that was done by a local textile conservator, Virginia Whalen, who does great work, by the way, Virginia notes that there were at one point in time at least 40 stars on this canton. 40 stars. Now that would date the canton itself to 1889, which is when both of the Dakotas were added as the 39th and 40th states in the country. But, you know, that would have been a pretty big canton, wouldn't it? And if you look even closer to the canton, you'll see that there is a seam that runs right along here. So obviously Maria was doing work on the flag continually throughout the 19th century. And at some point then, we don't know exactly when, she changed out the 35 stars, assuming she even had 35 stars on the canton in the first place, changed it out and ended with 28 stars instead. So it's a mystery that will never be solved. At least Maria Fassett's Harvey family doesn't have the answer for it either. So in 2003, Mr. Glenn Porter, who is Maria Fassett Harvey's great-great-grandson, who was a member of the League, working with his family, donated this incredibly important flag and Lincoln-related flag to the Union League's collection. And we have been hanging it proudly ever since. So what better way to celebrate Flag Day than with an American flag in the Union League's collection? So that's our story for the day. So it's an American flag made by an Irish immigrant, Maria Fassett Harvey, April 16th of 1865. And if you're ever in the League House, make sure you go to the second floor of the Broad Street building and take a look. It's hanging on a wall all the time. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your patronage for this hopefully entertaining and amusing series of Mondays with Monday. We'll do another one in about a month's time, so stay tuned. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. Stay well, stay healthy, and thanks again. Bye now.